Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gone Rogue. And in this episode of Gone Rogue, I am going to talk about imagination. That is right. In this episode of Gone Rogue, I am going to talk about maybe it's just our imagination. So what is making me talk about this is the doubt, the self-doubt in yourself, in ourself, that is. We all have the self-doubt, that fear, that controlled by fear, that is, whether or not we want to do this certain action and it comes out the way that you fear of. For example, one of the main examples that I can think of when talking about this is you submit a proposal, and the fear that you'll get is a no. And you worked hard on that proposal, and the fear is that you'll receive a big no, even after you worked so hard on that proposal. And it's that fear that is setting us back of not being able to perform our best. And is it the imagination? What is imagination? Imagination, in my own terms, without looking the word imagination, is that something that is mythical, something that is made up in our mind, that is based off of nothing. Sometimes in our minds we like to make something up in our minds that would want it to be true or want it to be false, and we rely on those imaginative thoughts. And the way that what we need to do is stop trying to use imagination on making these decisive problems, that is. Let me say this again. I think we need to teach ourselves is that imagination is just what it is. Imagination is nothing based off of anything, not based off of experience. Sometimes we are too distracted by this imagination, thinking that we will not get what we really want to get. And this is the thought that I've been thinking for the past few weeks. Is it my own imagination that is setting me back? Or should I just do it in fear for the worst? And there are many scenarios that I think that is the case, is that imagination is something that we rely too much upon that sets us back. It sets that control. It sets that fear of thinking of the worst case scenario, getting the answer that you don't want to listen, getting an answer that you do not want to face. So, what are the ways? What are the ways to help alleviate, to help solve this issue that we have in our daily life. I think we need to analyze the issue on what it is. That is right. I think we need to interpret the issue of what it is that is setting us back, setting that fear that controls our mind. Because at the end of the day, I think it's the imaginative thoughts that we come up with ourselves, fearing that we won't get a yes, or fearing that the answer that you don't want to deal with. I think more needs to be talked about on this, because this is something that I face every day, and as I look back on many scenarios, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should not have listened to my imagination. And like I said, these imaginations are just made up in our minds. Having that fear making up these imaginations. And we need to learn to distance ourselves from these imaginative thoughts. We need to differentiate or tell the difference between imagination or basing on our imaginations, or basing on our real life proven experiences. It's like telling the difference between fact and fiction, and it applies for this circumstances that we face every day in our lives. And yeah, so that's I really want to talk about for this episode of Gone Rogue. Another point that I want to bring up and give credit to, I've been recently watching these Kobe motivation speech, and this is one of many reasons why I'm talking about this, because Kobe, may rest in peace, rest in power. Kobe is a great motivation speaker, and I would recommend anybody who's not a Kobe fan or a fanatic or a basketball fan to just listen how he speaks as a motivation speaker. And this is the main topic that I got this from. And he talks about how we need to stop making imaginations on things and analyze the situation on what it is. And yeah, so that is one of many parts of his philosophical thinking, Mamba mentality. And yeah, so that's about it for this episode of Gone Rogue. If you like this video, please give this video a huge thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below on what you think about what I said. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to get my other YouTube content that is on his channel. And thank you for watching Gone Rogue, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.